Welcome to ESG Unlock, where we discuss all things ESG in private markets, brought to you by ESGTree. I'm Rachel Green, and I'm thrilled to be your host. Joining us today is Rich Green, the co-host for this series. So Rich, tell us a little about what we're seeing in the private equity space when it comes to ESG.
Every LP I talk to is asking about ESG.
For sure. Like, we've been fortunate enough to work with a ton of mid-market firms at ESGTree. And I can tell you the concerns we're hearing are pretty consistent across the board. One of the biggest pain points we hear about is the lack of standardization across data requests. Every LP seems to have their own set of questions and metrics, making it incredibly difficult for GPs to collect and report data consistently.
That makes sense. It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Precisely. And then there's the issue of data management itself. Many firms are still relying on manual processes, like spreadsheets, which can be incredibly time-consuming and prone to errors.
It's a recipe for headaches.
Exactly. And to make matters worse, many GPs still haven't fully integrated ESG into their investment processes. So they're scrambling to gather data after the fact, rather than proactively collecting it through that deal lifecycle.
But where do you even start?
Yeah.
If I'm an ESG head, feeling overwhelmed by all of this, what's the first step towards building a more effective ESG integration strategy?
The key is to shift from a reactive to a proactive approach. Instead of waiting for LPs to ask the questions, anticipate what they'll be looking for and start collecting data now.
So it's about getting ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And that starts with establishing a clear ESG policy that outlines your firm's commitment to ESG principles.
So a clear policy is the foundation. What comes next?
Once you have that policy in place, you need to integrate it into every stage of your investment process. This means considering ESG factors from the initial screening and due diligence phases all the way through to portfolio company engagement and exit.
That's where the real work begins.
Yeah.
How do you actually go about integrating ESG into those different stages?
It requires a multifaceted approach. First, you need to educate your investment team and how the ESG principles can be applied to investment decisions.
So it's not just the responsibility of the ESG team.
Right.
Everyone needs to be on board.
Exactly. And then you need to develop tools and resources to help your team assess ESG risks and opportunities throughout the deal lifecycle.
So what are some practical examples of what that looks like?
For example, you could develop a scoring system to rank companies based on their ESG performance. And it also helps you identify potential red flags and avoid investments that could pose significant ESG risks.
That's crucial. But what about the portfolio companies you already have? How do you engage with them on ESG issues?
Once you've made an investment, you need to work with the management team to identify and address any material ESG issues.
So it's about providing guidance and support,
Precisely.
not just dictating terms.
And it's about building strong relationships with your portfolio companies so you can work together to create value.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like a lot of work. How do you manage all of this on top of everything else that's going on?
That's where technology can be a game changer. Tools like ESGTree can automate many of the manual tasks associated with ESG integration, like data collection, analysis, streamline reporting, and provide insights to form better investment decisions.
It's like having a whole ESG team at your fingertips.
In a way, yes. And it's not just about making things easier, it's about making things better.
What do you mean by that?
Technology can help you collect more accurate and reliable data, identify trends and patterns that you might not otherwise see, and generate reports that are tailored to the specific needs of your stakeholders.
It's not just about automating existing processes.
Precisely.
It's about enhancing those processes and making them more effective.
And it's about working with a provider that understands the unique challenges of the PE industry. And that can provide the support and guidance you need to be successful.
It's a partnership.
Exactly. And when you find the right partner, technology can be a powerful enabler of your ESG journey. But it's important to remember that technology is not a silver bullet. You still need a strong ESG strategy, a commitment from leadership, and a willingness to engage with your portfolio companies on these issues.
It's about combining the right technology with the right mindset and approach.
Exactly. And that's what's going to separate the leaders from the laggards in the ESG space.
Well said. And for our listeners, we'll be sure to include links to all the resources we discussed.